Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Super Luigi Galaxy. Previously, we took care of another prankster comment back at Dreadnought, and start off in Melty Molten Galaxy. Today we're going to continue in Melty Molten, as we are far from done with this, as it being the final galaxy in the entire game that we have yet to explore completely. So first things first, we're going to head through the meteor storm on our way to our next power star. I remember this being a lot more hazardous than the last two stars we did get at Melty Molten. Oh, that flag at the end. I know what that flag means over there. We saw in the preview. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to that. But that's gonna be for a little later. There's a bunch of starbits here early on. It's rated starbits and meteors. Hallelujah. Really depends on how you feel. I mean, starbits, yeah, that's always nice to see, but meteor shower, not so much. At least that's when it's not impacting the Earth like these meteors are doing right now. And I just took a nasty twin combo there. That was a really poor decision on my part, to be honest. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, so for this, not to die. Don't die, don't get hit by the meteors. So there is no fire flower we have early on. Fantastic start to the episode. I died at the first planet of this star mission. Way to go. Oy vey, that's gonna be a bad sign of things to come, isn't it? I always take things like that as a really bad sign. I guess I'm just really superstitious like that. That's probably a bad thing to really admit, but I'm not afraid to actually say that. I really gotta stop burning my butts. That's just not a good way to spend a very pleasant evening, and that just happened twice by that freaking little cinder. If it's not the meteor shower, it's the little cinder that's gonna get me. So, in case you can't tell what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to use that little cinder to light those two torches to proceed on with our objective. But so far, I'm making it out to be way harder than it's supposed to be. Okay, so now that we've done that, it's form a launch star, so I'm not gonna get that guy out of my face. I guess ignore all those starbits. I already collected them all once and just gave them again would just feel like I'm cheaply grinding for them. So that's why I did grind for those in case of those crystals. So now we have to deal with all these swabs and more meteors. You know, who's to say where those meteors are coming from? Is Bowser shooting at us from off screen, or is one of his airships just firing off at Luigi no matter where he goes? Or maybe he has like some sort of mini armada that's positioned in each planet in this star mission and they're trying to fire at Luigi. That's what I'm expecting would happen, or maybe they're just native to Melty Molten, and I really gotta stop getting hit by those freaking meteors. Jeez. I'm being really paranoid about moving on now because I'm getting hit by those meteors so much, which is not a common thing for me to go through. Okay, let's step into the middle of those two meteors. Now jump. Move. Oh man, Luigi's lack of friction could be a real detriment at times like this. I was cut out a lot closer than I usually do, but then again, I do play this game as Mario most of the time. Even though I do prefer playing as Luigi, I just always find myself playing as Mario, not really thinking of Luigi that often. Which probably just goes to show just how Nintendo really feels about Luigi in the long run. Okay, so I gotta ignore those enemies. Those are not Potoboos. I just recently remembered those were actually called lava bubbles. But we haven't seen like since the first fight with King Caliente, so their official name didn't really stick with me that much. Besides, their name is really dang generic if you really think about it. They're just called lava bubbles. I really see them more as Potoboos, to be honest. Granted, they are blue, so blue Potoboos, which is not a common thing in the Mario universe, but their shape and the way that their eyes are placed looks like any other Potoboo that you've ever seen in a Mario game. That's how I always refer to them as. I wouldn't be surprised if the lava bubbles and the Potoboos are related in some fashion, to be quite frank. Okay, so now we're at this dome that has a launch star inside, so we gotta lure something over to break it on the end of this J-shaped planet. Of course, it's gonna be a bunch of little cinders along the way. Best eliminate a few of those if you can before you reach the end of this planet, because it might help you out in the long run. Got a bullet bill here from this bullet bill cannon. Of course, we gotta lure it into that dome that we saw, but don't go too far. And maneuver it past these walls. And that will break that dome, free the launch star. Now we can take that launch star, and a bunch of stars appeared. And this is what I was afraid of. Let's read this board before we proceed. Hey, my name is Billboard. Say, have we met before? Anyway, you'll need to hop on that ball to get through here. Once you're on, hold up your Wiimote. Then tilt to move around, press A to jump. Try not to fall in any holes. We've seen this kind of mechanic before, but that doesn't mean that I am very welcoming about it. I'm not really a big fan of this, to be quite honest. Really one of the weaker ways to use motion controls in my opinion. So I can hop on that platform where the 1-up is, but let's see what's going on the right first. Provided I don't get smacked in the face by any of those meteors along the way. There's another 1-up over there. So I'm just gonna go under here, try to build up my speed, and hop from that platform with the 1-up that we see on screen right now to the other side, because that's what I usually try to do instead of taking the long way around. 1. Oh, I did have enough speed. I think I should have backed up a little bit before I did that. We're gonna try that again. And holy moly, I've got 45 lives to my name. Really, once again, goes to show just how plentiful lives are in this video game. So I'll back up a little bit. Try to the right a little bit as well. Now got it. There we go, that's what I was trying to do. Now the rest of this is gonna be pretty easy in my opinion. There's gonna be a bunch of holes I'll be rotating. They're fairly simple to avoid. Really, I just wait till they pass by and then just go for it when I see a straight line. That's how I'm able to get by that portion. This last part will require a bit of timing. I usually wait for a large platform like the one coming right now to show up. And then that's when I hop across. And I'm able to get to that hole. Very, very easy to go through. It's just once you get by those blue platforms, the rest of the course is very simple. And as always, we deal with these rolling gimmick star things. We've got a power star at the top of the flagpole, and it's now ours for the taking. And I believe that brings us down to 8 power stars on the road to 120. And yes it is. I just remember the last time that most of the numbers were very symmetrical from when I ended off last episode. Now we'll head back there. Oh, I was gonna check if there's another purple comet that was nearby another galaxy, but would you look at this? We got a Daredevil comet that's in orbit of Melty Molten. So we didn't really encounter any boss, but I know where the Daredevil comet's gonna lead us. Back in the Llama Spar that we did start off this galaxy with, a Llama Spar Daredevil run. So it's just the same course as before. This time you can't take any hits before going through this entire course? Okay, I completely forgot this actually applies to the full course of the first star, not the final Llama Spire. Okay then. Well, that means I gotta be really, really careful now. Because I was expecting to go through the whole Llama Spire, not the entire map of the first star. Okay, so this just kind of upped the stakes a little bit, but I remember taking little to no damage when we did go through this the first time around, so hopefully I'll be able to continue that luck. That's if I'm not being stupid and trying to make any reckless decisions along the way. That's really the thing I gotta keep in mind. So I did mention this before, but those little geysers can actually damage you and burn you, so it's best to avoid those as much as you can. They're really not that hard to avoid, to be quite honest, so don't try to think about it too much. Just wait till they're done blowing and then just make your move. I'm not going to try to focus on the storms inside the volcano. Since we have been through here before, I am just going to try to go through this as fast as I can as I would with a speedy comet, but we're not on time limit here. But still, I am going to try to get through this as fast as possible since we have seen the entire layout of this star before. Okay, this is the part I have to be really cautious about because this is This was one of the times I do remember taking damage, and I have no life stream to back me up this time, this being a Neural Comet and all. Get over there. That long stretch really worries me the most whenever I'm going through this, whether it's a Deliver run or not. Because part of me always thinks that I did miss time by Polestar pulling, and I would get burned, so I do get a little nervous about that big stretch that I went through. Now we're done with that. Keep in mind, no checkpoints in the Prankster Comet, so if you do die here, or at any point in this galaxy, then you're gonna do this Prankster Comet all over again. And this is the part where I'm usually the most worried, is assembling this launch star, because I'm usually very careless when it comes to going after these little cinders, as much as I don't like to admit that, but that has been a thing for me in many past playthroughs. And for some reason I just never seem to learn my lesson whenever I am going up against these little cinders in Melty Molten, because I just really don't see them as much of a threat. But that's because most of the time I do remember seeing them in like small groups or when they're by themselves. But in a large pack like this, they can be very, very dangerous if you're not too careful. So like those four are just surrounding that last star chip, so I have to be really careful in this last area. So just studying well low can really help you and try to whittle down the numbers. Now 2 at once, nice! And that will give me the opening to assemble that launch star and be on our way. We're back in now the final portion of the Llama Spire. It's the Llama Spire itself. So go through this falling platform barrage. And now it's time for the main event, so to speak. Everything starts to break the minute we step on this platform, and the lava starts to rise, or this spire starts to sink. Again, that's really up to your interpretation of what's going down. Because, you know, people can always see things in like very different perspectives. So whereas one person might see this thing by like the lava that's rising, the other person might just see this whole lava that is, or this whole lava spire that is actually not melting, that's sinking. But enough about perspectives and all that, and just try to talk about meaningful stuff about life. This is a video game where an Italian plumber made by a Japanese company that's traveling the world, that's trying not to get their butt burned in a race for the finish. That's what I mean about being careless. And you know what? This was the first time I ever died on this Daredevil run, and now I'm sent all the way back here. Ah, that's what I get for being a little too cocky, I will admit that. And come on, okay, that's just kicking me in the face. I wasn't even trying to get burned there. I'll see you back in the Llama Spire. Okay, I was able to go over that hole that time, and now we can proceed on with the remainder of this lava sinking spire. I think I wasn't that far away from actually getting this star too. That was probably the worst part of it. I kind of figured that there wouldn't be much left for us to go through before I was able to get to that star. Just my luck to die near the end. Just my luck. Oh well, at least we're done with that now. Which hopefully means now I can focus on the remaining stars in Melty Molten. Let's see, now that as always, just in case something bad goes wrong with recording. And this should be the last star we have to get, aside from the Purple Comet star, of course. Come to think of it, we haven't approached one yet. Might check afterwards. Yeah, I will. Fiery Dino Parada. So that egg should look very familiar to you. We did encounter that way early on back in Good Egg Galaxy. So you should have a little idea what to expect judging by the title of this star. I swear, every time we get put back in the same place when we're starting a mission in Melty Molten Galaxy, kinda gets repetitive after a while, not gonna lie. especially coming from someone who does like this galaxy a lot, as I've already kind of gushed about it in the last little while. So the other thing I really haven't touched on yet is the music of Melty Molten. This is another personal favorite song of mine. There's no really real particular reason. I just think it fits the atmosphere in this. Also, what up over there? Probably should have jumped on that block to get to that. Oh well. But like I was saying, there really is no particular reason why I like the song. Like, very specific reason. Is just that I think it fits the atmosphere here very well. It's not really anything that's groundbreaking or anything though. Not like a song that's way too special. It's just something I think is a nice atmospheric piece. Guess we go down there. Ah, that takes us all the way over here. Actually, I'm getting kind of curious. What's on the top of that? On top of these platforms now? I'm willing to take a hit just to see what's up here. Besides, there are coins up there, so it's not like I'm missing out on anything too badly. I think I just wasted my time going up here, to be honest. It's probably why they were putting a lot of attention on this little section over here. So I think I'm going to launch up there, launch up there. Oh, it's a very much simpler way to get up to that green pipe. I usually don't go up that geyser jump slot, to be honest. It's one I tend to avoid because I just think it's way too risky, but apparently I just proved to myself that it's not as risky as I thought it would be. Guess I was just being a bit too paranoid about that. So I think we have to defeat all the little cinders here in order to proceed with the mission. So that's just one all the way back here that I missed out on. Where are you? Come on, come out wherever you are. There you are. And there you go. Just as I thought, a lost star would appear if we did defeat all its little cinders. I remember that so well because I always get confused on what to do on that planet. It always gets me, so I'm very surprised I was able to remember what to do to fulfill the conditions on getting that launch star to spawn that time. Figures the one time I do remember is actually our recording. I guess that's kind of a blessing of the Let's Play curse, or a Let's Play blessing, we call in this case. Make of that what you will. Now we're heading over to this planet. Okay, we have to form another launch star here. So just because you didn't think we could form a launch star on that planet where we defeated all those little cinders at, doesn't mean they outright forgot about the mechanic, at least for this star. I was doing so well navigating too. I thought I was liable to get burned there a couple times, to be quite honest. I think I'll jump up to this platform, get this life stream just in case, because chances are I might end up just getting my butt burned more than once if I'm not too careful on this planet. And case in point, I got my butt burned twice there. I wasn't even planning on that to happen. It just happened to occur at pure happenstance. Just like I said recently, I swear sometimes I'm part psychic. I'm just able to predict things literally a few seconds before it happens. Then again, I'd be like the worst fortune teller in the world if that were the case. Just able to tell people their fortunes or an event that might happen to them just seconds, mere seconds before that event actually happens. Probably a good thing why I'm never going to fortune telling, to be quite honest. And to be brutally honest, not to be quite honest about. Just a thing that I just wanted to bring up for quite some time, not gonna lie. Let's see, welcome to the Llama shop. I will buy another life stream there since I am running out of energy on my current life meter. It's been a long time since I did buy something for the Llama shop to be real. Then again, all the stuff I did buy this Let's Play have been live streams, so nothing really surprising about that. And it's gonna be needed. Because now we finally approach that egg we saw back in the preview. But you see that this egg now has fire properties to fit in with the theme of Melty Molten. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the brother of Dino Piranha, Fiery Dino Piranha. Oh, I think there might be twins. I do remember reading on my research that the two Dino Piranhas are actually related, from what I remember. But I don't remember like twins or brothers. Either or, they do share blood, so to speak. So same thing to do with Fiery Piranha that you do with the regular Dino Piranha, but this time it's gonna have fire engulfing its body. You'll have to time your spin jump very carefully in order to send the tail back at Dino Piranha itself. The more times you do this cycle, the faster the fire is gonna light up and dim out. And this particular point of the fight, it can get kind of tough with the timing. You also have to be very close in order to make contact with Fiery Piranha's tail at all. See there, I almost got burned twice, but it does leave a trail of fire in its wake, so you'll have to be careful about that too as you're progressing through the fight. I'm not sure if the trail of fire does last longer or extends longer the more times you do hit Fiery Dino Parada with it, but it can be quite a problem if you're not too careful. Thankfully, and believe me when I say this was actually a really smooth run compared to some of my recent runs with this boss fight. So I'm very surprised I was able to get through this with very little to no trouble at all. I remember my last playthrough with it, I was having a hell of a lot of trouble with Fire Dino Parada. It was really embarrassing and really ridiculous. But look at that. Only 6 more stars before we hit our goal. And this is a great place to stop for today. We were able to get more of the stars in Melty Molten, even taking out yet another boss. And just as I thought, Purple Comet is in orbit. Next time on Super Luigi Galaxy, we'll be heading back to Melty Molten one final time to take care of the Purple Comet there. Until we meet again, farewell for now.